Life of a door knocker can be tough. Having doors slammed in your face on a daily basis, people not exactly hearing what you have to say.
What?
Not the most friendly customer.
Not interested. Now get the off my property, and by the way, go get a real job.
The good news is, it doesn't have to be that way. Welcome to the Door-to-Door Mastery Podcast, where it's all about increasing your confidence, building rapport with your customers, and closing more sales. Here is your host, Paul Shakuri.
Hello, my Door-to-Door Mastery fans. What's up? We're on episode number 15, and I'm super hyped to bring this episode to you because I know you need me on the doors out there. We need that inner energy, excitement, whether it's me or you have it yourself or you're trying to master this whole debacle of door-to-door sales. I got the answers for you as long as you guys put my teachings to the test. So today, we're going to get you a plan of action. We're going to make you execute and, hey, simply make it happen. Because door-to-door sales may seem at first like it's so complicated and there's so many things you really need to learn. However, that is true, but in order to make sales in the beginning, the number one thing you need is that confidence, that whole general idea of how a sale should look, and more important, like I said, make it happen. Get out there, get the job done, okay? Because it's very important. If you don't have a plan of action, the majority of people, if you're listening to my podcasts, if you're reading my blogs, which by the way, I highly recommend, not a lot of you are doing that. You know, the majority of door knockers don't like reading, majority, not all, but you guys need to go and dig through all this information that I'm giving you guys, providing you guys, because the more you surround yourself around it, guess what? The stronger you become as a door knocker. So it's important. Dig in there. It's doortodoormastery.com. That's doortodoormastery.com. So check it out. Google it and read through the blogs because I post blog posts every single week. And for this month, I was actually doing 3 every single week, 3 new blog posts. So now as it's filling up, I'm going to kick it back a bit. And, you guys are helping me blast it out on social media, which I thank you guys and gals so much for. To start this podcast, that's what I'm going to get into. I want to first of all say, yes, I'm back from vacation, supporting the Joe Rogan look. If you guys are actually on YouTube watching this video or on my blog, who watching this actual video, I don't know why I looked at the preview. I'm like, dude, I look like Joe Rogan with the hat and the beard going on and whatnot. But hey, regardless of how I look, what I look, it's the information that I'm delivering to you, and I think I look sexy. Anyways, okay, so I want to thank you guys, first of all, for, really understanding that in order to help grow this podcast, you guys need to be on iTunes, like either listening to the show or rating it. And ever since I said it the last time, I have 12 now people who actually went out there recently and actually posted a whole thank you and a good 5-star rating, which thank you guys so much for. And I'm going to read that. The last one was in by Bex Security. He said, I was introduced to these podcasts just yesterday and actually implemented some of Paul's, I'm going to bring it on my other monitor, some of Paul's methods out on the doors today and sold 3 security systems before 5 p.m. Did you hear that? He sold 3 security systems before 5 p.m. I'm looking forward to the new podcasts as I will be showing these to my sales teams. Keep up the good work. Thanks. Thank you so much, Paul. It says, Paul, thanks. Hey, Beck Security, you're very welcome. And, I pray that you have a blessed, whole process with the whole blessings with your actual business. The reason why is I had my own security company, and I'll tell you, it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. Just love your sales reps, those that give you the time and day to actually, help mold them into a better salesperson. Give them that extra push, give them that extra, what they should be doing, what they can achieve in your company, kind of like spiffs, incentives to go out there and really make it happen. But more importantly than just focusing on salespeople getting better at sales, focus on, if you own your own security company, focus on solid people who want to help grow your company. Sales definitely help grow your company short term, but what are they going to do tomorrow? tomorrow? Are they growing? Are they bringing in new blood, new salespeople who are actually going to close more sales? So what's your plan of execution? What are you going to do? What's your plan of action? Are you going to execute, and are you going to make it happen? And, obviously in my door-to-door mastery program, I go over the details of all that. That's the importance of really knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. Okay. Next, stinking poop dog. Sure. I will pass this on to my team. I am listening myself so that I can relay the message to my sales team. I own a small business, and I will require them to listen to the podcast so that they can learn themselves the proper way to address people. Thank you so much for that 5-star rating as well. And yes, addressing your message to people is extremely important. Just like me, for example, on this actual podcast, right? I need to deliver the message, what's in my brain, what I've learned, what I've accomplished. I need to deliver that message with clarity. And that's where a lot of teachers are just simply teachers and not great teachers. The feedback I get, the reason why I'm a very good teacher is because I learn through clarity. And a lot of times when, I was working in a large company doing accounts payable, I would be told, okay, Paul, do this, get these entered. It's like, okay, well, when I actually get down to the computer or actually get down to the nitty gritty, it's like, well, what do I click on? Well, it's obvious. Find out, figure it out. I don't learn that way. Tell me the details and I'll tell you. When I'm actually trying to figure it out, I can remember back to about what you were saying, not, well, yeah, you got to go into here, pull a report from there, enter this information. I mean, you should figure it out. Like, dude, why? When you already know. That's what frustrates me. And that's where I really knew, especially because I was thrown to the wolves out there. And I know the majority of people who came to my company from other companies were thrown to the wolves. And they're like, Paul, the reason why I'm at your company, the reason why I became so much more successful is because you broke down the details. Your team actually broke the details down to me. So, I like that. And I've advanced way quicker. Those who actually are seeking for the answer, those who actually have a plan of action, what you want from door knocking, those are the people who are obviously on this show. You, the listener, you're the one who's going to succeed so long as you execute on that action and you make it happen. And we're going to talk about that. Okay. Thank you so much. Next, Zen 427. Holy, are there really 427 different people with Zen? Maybe. Stefan, as a traveling small business owner, I just want to say thank you. It's hard to not feel good while listening to your podcast or even the mastery program. Thank you so much for being a member. And I believe Beck Security, I seen that recently too. He's a actual member too. I'm going to get into the details of that later on. I'm going to read off the list. So I believe he is. So, or even the mastery program. Not only do your teachings work, they are ethical and easy to implement. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you sharing your knowledge, enthusiasm, and engagement. Stefan Z. Hey, Stefan, you are very welcome. Thank you so much for that 5-star review. That means the world to me. Every single time I see these, I get a smile on my face. You want to put a bigger smile on my face so it's permanently there? Go and rate me a 5-star rating. Go rate the Door-to-Door Mastery podcast on iTunes a 5-star rating. It helps increase the rankings, guys and gals out there. I know there's a ton of listeners from the stats that I see, so we need more people to actually get out there and rate the show. Great door-to-door wisdom by XZito777. I know there's not 777 of that, but that's a cool number, right? Because it's all good luck. Thank you so much for that 5-star review. Great door-to-door wisdom. Absolutely. And in Zen's, by the way, Stefan mentioned something that's very important. Ethical. Those people who in your office who are unethical, they don't last long. If they're making a 6-figure income, it's going to be cut off. And I'm telling you, it's going to be cut off. Not, well, it might be cut off. No, it is going to be cut off. The reason why is because they either end up in jail or they either end up, just getting kicked out of the company that they actually work. Thank you very much right now to Sean H for just subscribing to the Door-to-Door Mastery, joining the Door-to-Door Mastery. Just got the actual notification. I say it on the air as we go. This podcast, another one, Carlitos 801. So this podcast 801, that's the whole the Utah number, right? LDS maybe, perhaps. the big industry, a lot of people are. This podcast has helped me in my satellite sales, DirecTV to be specific. I am a very shy person and decided that I needed to change that. So I pulled the trigger to do sales, not only for the opportunity to make big income, but to change the way I am. I don't see myself anywhere else but sales. Next summer, I'm going to try security systems. I really enjoy your podcast. Keep them coming. Hey, thank you so much, Carlitos, for, I use the accent, right? Carlitos, for giving me a 5-star rating. That means the world to me. And, that's awesome. Door-to-door sales, regardless of what you're doing, so long as it pays a great amount of upfront money, and I always say anywhere from $100 a sale all the way up to, I'd say, $500, or if you're getting in the solar, the $1,500, $3,000, that's where you want to be in that range. So, security sales does it. DirecTV, obviously, satellite sales is there. Pest control is there. That's why I really stick with those actual things doing door-to-door. Obviously, there's a lot of different very good means to actually do door-to-door sales with. Roofing is another thing that I know pays off well. But, the key ingredient is you're going out there, you're mastering it, you have a plan of action. What is yours? Have you planned, what you're going to be doing, how many doors you should be knocking on? So the majority of emails I get, and I do say mass majority of emails I get, hey, Paul, I need help getting better at door-to-door sales. Where do I start? Okay. And that's what I'm going to break in this actual podcast for you. Where do you start? Okay. So you actually want to get better, but where do I start, Paul? I want to get better. Every single person is at a different level in the game. Every single person is at a different level. Now, I want you to understand one thing. If you want to get better knocking on doors, you got to get comfortable doing it, okay? You got to get comfortable. The more doors you talk to, the better you're going to get at your closing ratio. You're going to close more sales. However, before we even get into that, there's a lot of things that make up a good salesperson, from an extra good salesperson to a mastery salesperson to the average Joe. And I can't just teach it to you in one podcast. However, the more you listen to this, you're going to slowly get bits and pieces of information here and there, and you're going to actually go out there and you're going to be experiencing things on the door. Then you're going to come back and say, oh, yeah, I remember Paul talking about this. Let me go back and listen to that actual podcast. And so, I make every podcast available to you guys. I don't, like a lot of other people, take it down really quick. No, you can actually go and access my archive all the way back to number 1. Those of you who have iPhones, iPods, anything, iMacs, iMinis, iPad minis, go into the iTunes store, type in door-to-door mastery, door-to-door mastery, and you'll see it's yellow, my actual logo, and you'll see door-to-door sales mastery. Click on it, subscribe to it, it's free. You get all my episodes for free. You can listen to every single episode, okay? So having said that, let's jump into my actual website promo.
DoorToDoorMastery.com, your source of motivation, information, and inspiration to closing more sales. Selling door to door, that's DoorToDoorMastery.com.
That's right. That's DoorToDoorMastery.com. I've committed to making this my number 1 priority to actually teach door-to-door salespeople how and what to exactly do to close more sales selling door to door. I get this question often. Paul, you're used to making a super high, extreme 6-figure income, knocking on doors. Why are you teaching? Are you making that much? No, I am not making that much right now. However, with the rate I'm going and how I'm actually building my business now, because you can't commit to everything. Paul, why don't you just go knock on doors, do this? I've done that. I've put my time in 9 years straight, building teams, doing all that. Now I've realized what makes me happy. I want to make money from even more what makes me happy, because at first knocking on doors, didn't quite make me happy, but I knew I had to push through because it paid so much. And I knew with that money, I can invest into businesses. So as I did it, I ended up loving it and liking door-to-door sales. I didn't know that I was going to end up liking it. Why? Because I can go and talk to 1 in every 3 to 5 up to 10 homeowners and close one sale, make a good $500 to $600, and do that repetitively over and over and over again. So in the back of my head, I had a plan of action. If this is my closing ratio, let's just say it started off at 1 in 25, and typically it's 1 in 50, I'd say, for the worst salesperson of homeowners or targeted people you talk to. 1 in 50, you bring it down all the way down to your 1 in 10 minimum. What happens is you just keep doing it over and over again. But the problem is the mass majority of salespeople, when they actually get to the closing ratio of 1 in 10, what do? They talk to 10 homeowners and they slowly talk to 10 homeowners, or they feel like it's, oh my God, I gotta get out on turf and knock and talk to. Like, if you really think this job is that hard, please save your company, save yourself the times. Go find another job and realize how like the average 9 to 5 person gets paid. And when you actually realize that, you're going to jump quickly to say, oh my gosh, what am I talking about? I have the freedoms to be going out, the freedom to go out there, put nice fresh cologne on, perfume on, talk to people and close and make the amount of money that I can make. And really, is it that bad? Dedicate your time. Those of you who are in the summer program, understand that you're only going to be doing it for the 4 months. And if you're doing it for the 4 months, you have to give your all. It's just like, for you hockey players out there, you have 3 periods. If you're going to have only 3 periods to score a goal and stop goals from entering your net, well, you're going to give your massive energy and efforts for that time period. Well, the same thing for door knocking if you're in a year-round program. You have to take it day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. Have a plan of action. Where are you going to be? What do you want to accomplish? Why do you want to accomplish it? And the majority of salespeople, now I'll say 99% of salespeople, don't do that. All they focus on is the green, the money. And they wonder why at the end of the day, when they get rejected over and over again, they want to quit. Okay? You have to have a plan of action and set reasonable goals. So if you're starting off, let's just say 5 sales a month. Okay? I'm not saying stop at 5 sales a month. Set a reasonable goal your first month to close 5 sales, let's just say. Or if it's solar, if it's alarms, up it to 10. And because you're new and you don't quite know what to expect, set a goal that's achievable, that you, no matter what, will achieve. And I say this not to limit you to how many sales you get, but to have a plan of action. So you have a goal of, let's just say, 10 alarm sales, or you have a goal of, let's just say, 15 to 20 pest control sales, or you have a goal of 5 solar sales your first month, or 3, let's just say. Well, what are you going to do to get it? Seriously, how many days are you going to put in? And people say, oh, that sounds crazy. I don't need to do that. I just need to go out and sell. Yeah, that's why you're failing at knocking on doors and closing and mastering door-to-door mastery. You're not mastering door-to-door sales. Sorry. You're not mastering it. I get frustrated with people who think like that. If somebody tells me to do something and they've mastered it, well, lo and behold, I go and I do it. I just keep my mouth quiet and I implement it. And I normally get, and from my personal experience, I normally get that result, okay? I normally get the result that they have in a quicker period of time, or I start seeing results. Just like I'm going to read to you an email I actually received from another gentleman, who actually put my teachings to use. And when he put my teachings to use, he instantly seen a huge result. Now, I'm good friends with a lot of the large monitoring companies, and a lot of you who are actually listening to my show, who are part of my mastery program, have messaged me and messaged the same people who we actually know at the monitoring stations or even in solar and said, holy, do you know this Paul guy? And yeah, I do. Dude, he's helping me bring more accounts in to my company to actually get funded on, like obviously through how many sales, through sales-wise, okay? It's amazing at the circle this industry is in. And I'm here to help you grow it. Whether you're in Canada, whether you're in the United States, whether you're in Europe, no matter where you are, I'm here to actually help you grow it. Okay? And until you understand and accept me as your coach, when you accept me and accept my teachings as your coach, that's when you're going to start getting better and better and better. So just blatantly listen to what I say. And start implementing it. Have a plan of action. And when you do, you'll actually see there will be way more sales coming in.
Let's hear from this week's door knocker.
Can I help you?
Yes, so let's hear from this week's door knocker. And I decided to pick Brian B., his actual email. And this was a more recent one. I am going to go back to the older ones in the next upcoming episode, so do not worry. And Brian B. actually says this: Paul, thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with door-to-door sales. I just started my own pest control business and I'm using door-to-door as my main means of growth. First of all, congratulations for being a hashtag entrepreneur and Brian B. and actually opening your own business. You know, at first it could be kind of scary if you've never done one. My family has always had businesses, so you know I've kind of seen it. You know, all the congrats to you. And if your family has never really owned one and you just jumped and took the leap of action to actually do that, I really like when I hear stories like that. It gives me shivers down my spine. It's like, dude, congratulations, you're a true entrepreneur. You know, I just started my own pest control business and I'm using door-to-door sales as my main means of growth. Smart. Now, first of all, I want to break that down. He's using door-to-door as his main means of growth. You better believe it, especially when you don't have the income to actually, or even if you do, but especially if you don't have the income to actually invest into advertising like crazy up front. Well, door-to-door sales is the time, right? When you actually make sales, you can pay your salespeople even more. When you can pay your salespeople even more, don't you think you'll have more dedicated sales reps? You would think so. There's a lot more work to that, and I break the details down of that throughout my whole program. Anyways, I've been watching and reading several sources of information on door-to-door sales in general, trying to learn how to be more effective at growing my business. Your video, The Opener, has some of the best advice I have ever seen. Thank you, and for an awesome job in doing that. Hey, you're very welcome. You know, that video I was presenting in front of a group of salespeople, and you know, I told them, I'm like, hey, you really need to learn. I'm gonna actually give my list of obviously subscribers this actual video, but I told them, I'm like, you need to learn and master your opener. It was an eye opener for them. I do have questions for you though. When I'm knocking on doors, most of the homes I go to are in a subdivision with a no soliciting sign. No soliciting sign, folks. Those of you more experienced, you're probably already like, oh yeah. For the neighborhood. In my county, the sign holds no legal precedent, but several homeowners believe that means several homeowners believe that means I cannot solicit in the neighborhood. I have a solicitor's license, congratulations, brother, which allows me to do door-to-door sales, but I would like to have a few suggestions on how to deal with an irritated homeowner who is telling me to leave the neighborhood. Thank you for your help, and I look forward to your response. All right, I want to break this down because this happened to me often, and I want to tell you the details of this in this neighborhood and in non-neighborhoods. Non-soliciting homes, people who actually, obviously, number one, always check. I'm not giving any legal advice. Always check about your city, your state, whatever it is, about the rules and regulations about knocking on these doors, these non-soliciting, what you can do, what you can't do, flyering. You know, I know in non-soliciting neighborhoods, if there's flyers on the doors, certain cities, there's different laws, restrictions. Check with your city, okay, on what the laws are. Number one. Okay, that's number one. Now, number two, when you're knocking on a no soliciting door in a no soliciting neighborhood, one of two things. Number one, how many door-to-door salespeople have gotten scared by that and not knocked on those doors? So how many times have these homeowners actually heard that pitch? How many times a day, a week, a month, a year do these homeowners actually get bombarded with door knockers? Not as much as regular. What does that mean? It's more cleaner, it's more fresher. However, what you said is when you're knocking on those doors, you have a higher rate of irritated homeowners. I'm sorry, but there's no magic wand that I can wave and say, bada boom, bada bing. This is what you say, and you will not get that. You're going to get that, okay? You're going to get it. If it's not illegal for you to actually knock on those doors and you did your research and your homework, I would personally do it because you have your solicitor's permit and it's legal. But understand that you're going to get irritated people and they respect it. Honestly, for a second here, I really want to say it in the best way possible. Respect it. Why? Those people either paid extra money or moved to that neighborhood for a certain reason, okay? And it doesn't mean every single person in that neighborhood doesn't want to talk to you on that given day, because as you clearly know, I'm sure you've gotten sales in those neighborhoods, but you know, those people who are irritated by you knocking on that door, be generous enough to know, because now you're on their turf that it's known you shouldn't be there. But if it's legal for you to be there and you're just like, hey, I'm very sorry about that. I really have, I'm really doing, you're doing pest control. I'm doing pest control. And the reason why we're out here, and if you've talked to other neighbors and they've had that, is they've actually had, for example, bark scorpions in their actual yard right behind you. And normally when that happens, it actually spreads. So let me just leave you with my business card and, hand them a business card and see if you can actually buy some more time there. So let me just leave you with my business card. And if you don't mind me asking as I leave, did you have any experience with that? Well, and now a lot of times what I've realized in neighborhoods like that is people will then, because you respected them, okay, people will then say, you know what, not much. I kind of do it myself. They're talking to you. It's like, oh, okay. And then now slowly see how much you can get away with talking to them. Okay. So, I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, it's a very nice neighborhood. And, there wasn't what we noticed out here. And, you always, when I'm selling, put them in control, and also let them know that let them know of their advantages and your disadvantages to the sale. I hope that made sense. And I'm going to break it down. Their advantages and your disadvantages. And I'm going to break that down right now. So your disadvantages would be, for example, there are no pests out there. There are no spiders. There are scorpions is your advantage, but there are no, let's just say, dangerous poisonous spiders. Let them know that. Okay. A huge disadvantage to my company is the fact that, and it's sad to say, but there's no crazy spiders like black widows or whatnot out here. But, and when they actually see you're giving them advantages in their mind, what do they do to you? They're like, okay, this is actually a more legit, genuine type of person. You have a better chance at closing that sale. I don't mean bash yourself or your company, but what I'm saying is just to give you that idea, and so the good thing about this neighborhood is I've noticed you guys don't really have, these crazy spiders. However, now your advantages, I did notice that you guys have this, and these are easily sprayable if you do, like I'm just saying, for example, if you did this, and this, but the majority of people out here, what I noticed, they said they don't want to do it, and they hired our company for how inexpensive we are. Now when I'm giving you this whole pitch, I'm just giving you the general idea. Now you can jump into it and actually break down the details of because now you've bought in time of what you have to offer, what your company does. You see how I did that? I kind of shifted it, but those are for people who aren't just saying, get off my property. I don't want you. Right? That's for people who aren't doing that to you. That's for people who started with that, but you kind of bought your time. Okay. Next, where is that? Okay. No soliciting, irritated owners. Sorry. So I responded to him, and then after that, he responded back, wow, I'm impressed. I did not expect to get a response from you. Hey, because you said that, I'm also bringing you on the air, Brian. Brian V, how awesome is that? I get back to you guys as quick as possible. I think I was on vacation when I responded to this, to you, Brian. I'm not sure, but it's me. It's my personality. It's who I am. I get back. I know you need the answers quick because you're going to go out there that day. Hey, you're very welcome, everyone, for that. So next, I have another question for you. In your experience, when is the ideal time to start knocking on doors? Also, what days are best? For example, Friday, most people are actually at home, and then it goes into weekdays time. So a lot of times what I'm going to respond to you guys, if you guys give me a question where I've already answered either on the air or I've actually answered in a blog post, I'll actually send you to my website, which is doortodoormastery.com, my actual blog, where I have the answer to that, where I've written a whole blog post on that. So I sent them back to that blog post, just so you guys know, at Door to Door Mastery. And at the upper right-hand corner, you guys, you'll actually see a search bar. If there's any keywords like, for example, what time to knock, knocking time, best time to knock, type in the search and see what results come up. That my article actually came up. Clicked on it, read it, and this is the result he got a few days later. Just wanted to let you know, this is by Brian. Just wanted to let you know your tips are helping. I went out, talked to 14 homeowners today, and got a sale. This is my best my best knock to sale ever ratio. Thank you very much for sharing your valuable knowledge and your experience. Hey, Brian, you are very welcome.
Strategically designed with the door knocker in mind. Best door knocking tips and advice at doortodoormastery.com.
So I want to thank, first of all, from kind of randomly, it doesn't matter. But Sean H., who when we just started the show, you actually just became a member. Thank you so much. Next, Adam B., thank you so much for becoming an actual member as well of the show. And then Dan N., thank you so much for becoming an actual member just recently to the show. Troy P., thank you. Ricky R., a big shout out. Thank you so much. A lot of you guys I also have conversations with as well. You guys are doing a phenomenal job being a hashtag entrepreneur. I'm going to hashtag more on my Twitter feed about that. And if you guys want to actually hit me up on Twitter, at PSHAK is my actual Twitter handle. Before I'd have to explain, what the heck is a Twitter handle? Now, social media, you all know. Michael H., thank you so much. Tony B., thank you so much. James E., thank you so much. Simon C., thank you so much. And then another security company, thank you guys so much. These are the recent transactions that you guys have actually brought me to my door-to-door mastery program. You know, growing the show for me is something I've dedicated to. Do I make money? People ask me. Somebody posted on my YouTube channel, Paul, do you make money out of your actual program? 100% yes, with a big smile on my face and proud to say I make money from my mastery program. I cannot stand salespeople, or I cannot stand managers or whatever who always don't want anybody to make money off them, but they want everything for free. Free. Look, I spend money for quality content and information on programs that I personally want to pursue. Why would I take 5 years, 2 years, 3 years out of my life to actually learn something when I can spend a little bit of money, make somebody dedicate their time and resources and energy and efforts, because they need to survive and live a certain lifestyle that they have too, to their actual program? That's what I've done. I spent $550, I believe, on my one program recently to actually better my knowledge. And just so you know, that $550, I made that back 2 days ago in the stock market. 2 days ago in the stock market. Okay. I want you guys to stop getting that mentality. Is he making money? I wonder what he's doing. And you don't take any course of action to read my blog post or, go through my information, and you try to analyze. You guys, that's going to set you to be broke all your life. I promise you. But you know what? That's not what this is about. I'm not going to go on a rant about that. Hit doortodoormastery.com up and get the free information. I'm not telling you to join my program just because. By the way, there's going to be an actual email that's going to go out. I am increasing the price of the actual members area. I was waiting on the last videos to create about recruiting. And obviously that's just the last videos to complete the membership area. But I'm going to be always adding videos when obviously I believe it's needed to that actual program. And anybody who's in it at the least expensive price today will actually get all the updates 100% for free. So I'm going to be increasing it. I'm going to also send out an email to all of you guys who are subscribed at doortodoormastery.com on the right. If you've ever opted in and watched my 3 free video series, you're opted in and you'll actually be on that list. I'm going to send you an email with the deadline of when the actual door-to-door mastery program will be increasing. Also, subscribers, I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. That's freaking amazing. We're at 1,346 as of today. Facebook fans, thank you so much. And then 152 Twitter followers. I think that's pathetic, but a lot of people, maybe door knockers, don't use Twitter. However, who cares? Having said that, again, thank you so much for listening to the Door-to-Door Mastery Podcast, episode number 15. Without you guys, I couldn't make this dream an actual reality. I've had this set up from the back of my mind once I've mastered door-to-door sales to actually somehow teach the world, but somehow get compensated. And I've managed to do that. Thank you, my Door-to-Door Mastery fans.
You have been listening to the Door-to-Door Mastery Podcast. It is time for you to take your door knocking to the next level. Receive Paul's free video series teaching you how to master your opener pitch, understanding your features and benefits, and knowing when and how to close the sale. Be a successful door knocker. Be there now. doortodoormastery.com. That's doortodoormastery.com.